Ladies and gentlemen,
They say the next big thing is here.
The Steve Warnicki Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Steve Warnicki Show. All things over at stevewarnicki.com, award-winning author, and I am blogging and video podcasting, all in the name of the war on cops. Check out everything at stevewarnicki.com. Somber mood this week as we are again faced with yet another law enforcement funeral. Deputy Micah Flick was killed in the line of duty. If you look back to Colorado, December 31st, Deputy Zach Parrish was lost of Douglas County. 3 other deputies shot in that instance. Then we move on to Deputy Heath Gum of Adams County, killed on January 24th when he went to question a suspect involved in an assault. And now February 5th, Deputy Micah Flick, El Paso County Sheriff's Department, killed, and again 3 other deputies shot. 2 other deputies and a Colorado Springs Police Department officer shot when they confront a male involved in a vehicle theft. So people are asking, what is going on in Colorado? Certainly our thoughts and prayers are with all of the families of the deputies. Our hearts are broken, and we have to find a way as a community to put an end to these tragedies. And one of the ways we can do that is to start having a dialogue about what is going on. What are the potential causes for this? So I have a theory here about something that I believe is contributing to this environment. It's not going to be very popular amongst lawmakers and those in charge in Colorado, but I want you to think about this. And here's my theory, that the climate, the environment, and the tone set by the officials in Colorado is such that it encourages a lawless attitude. There's a lax belief toward enforcement of the laws. You have marijuana being legal, people not serving lots of jail time when they are sentenced, reduced and eliminated sentences for crime, and also, I will talk about the most unbelievable thing I've ever heard considered by lawmakers in Colorado that hopefully, as it did me, will make your face red with anger. So back to my theory. When you have and send messages to the citizens of Colorado, the people visiting Colorado, and the rest of the world that the enforcement of crime is not a priority in Colorado, I believe you encourage lawlessness. And if we look back to the broken windows theory of policing, a couple social scientists in 1982, James Wilson and George Kelling, came up with this. And here's the theory. Consider a city that has a building in it with a few broken windows. If the windows are not repaired over time, you have more broken windows. Over time, people begin to graffiti the building. Then it goes a little further. They break into the building. Then they start squatting, potentially lighting fires in the building. Okay, see where this is going. So the thought is preventing small crimes, such as vandalism, public drinking, even simple things like turnstile jumping or littering, helps to create an atmosphere of order, thereby preventing more crime from happening. Now think back to 1993 when New York Mayor Rudolph Giuliani appointed potentially the most famous police officer of our time, Bill Bratton, who went to work in Los Angeles and came back to New York. But think about the effect that this broken windows theory of policing, which was implemented in New York, had. And there's lots of controversy about whether or not that was what caused New York's transformation, but it seems to make sense. Think about it. When you go to a city and it's filthy and there's litter everywhere and graffiti, and you'd throw your cup in the trash can and it misses, you go, oh, well, the place is a dump anyway, right? Versus you go to a place that's pristine, clean, everybody's in order, everybody's polite, right? Now, I'm not talking about Stepford stuff, right? But it's just nice and clean. And so when you have that, you're more likely to fall in line with the attitude and environment that's been created there. And it just makes sense, doesn't it? And never mind all of that, which of those two places, the dirty, dilapidated, graffitied place or the pristine, clean place, do you want to call home? Which is the place that you want to raise your children in? Which is the place that you want to live and work and play in? Now, let's start with the reasons why I believe that Colorado has created an environment where there's little respect for rules and laws. We'll start with the legalization of weed, and I understand that's happening elsewhere. Let me talk to you about my personal experience with Colorado. Now, on a side note, you can argue that marijuana crime rates have gone down since marijuana. You can argue that crime rates have gone up. I feel like I've read 52 studies each way, so who knows? I don't know, and I'm not going to know, and I'm not going to purport to know to you. What I'm going to tell you is, never mind statistics. They're a nightmare. See my podcast, A Statistical Nightmare, at stevewarnicki.com. I don't want to manipulate statistics because they're easily manipulated. I want you to think about how these things make you feel and ask yourself while you're listening to all of this, does this make sense? Does this pass the smell test? I smell it? Yeah, that's probably about right. Okay. You can drive through Colorado, and several of the neighborhoods have a very strong smell of marijuana. You can see people smoking marijuana. I mean, the last time I went to a wedding downtown, I got a hotel room there and stayed there, and people were just hanging out the window across the apartment building across the street, just smoking bongs. And it felt like a fair number of the people downtown, like especially on the 16th Street Mall, were high. And you can see people and smell marijuana everywhere. Also, and I was a police officer for 15 years. I was in downtown Denver at this wedding, and in the evening time at night, I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe. And I polled the three other people I was with, and it was unanimous. None of them felt safe either. And it's not necessarily because of marijuana, but it has contributed to this atmosphere downtown where there's drugs and people hanging out, people are high, and that does not lend itself toward feeling safe, I don't believe. Now, let's look at Mayor Michael Hancock and the Denver City Council and what they've done. A lot of this, I believe, is grandstanding on the part of the mayor against the current administration, but let's put our different political views aside and look at what they've done. City government in Denver didn't decriminalize public urination or unauthorized camping, which, by the way, is supposed to address homelessness. It's for people camping on sidewalks and in parks. There were some allegations it was decriminalized, but they did reduce the sentences. Previously, you could face a year in jail or $999 fine. Now it's 60 days in jail. The mayor says that, quote, with this ordinance, we will ensure the punishment fits the severity of the offense. But one of the reasons the mayor gave for reducing penalties for crimes, like park curfew, unauthorized camping, public urination, was that it would help legal immigrants stay in the country. And we all know that most likely means also illegal immigrants. Immigration officials look at the maximum sentence for a crime when deciding whether to deport visa holders or put them on a path to citizenship. Crimes that carry a sentence of a year or more can trigger deportation, even if the person paid a fine or just served 1 day. So the intent here, and what's the message? It's okay. Certain crimes we don't care about. We don't care about them. Fine, it's fine. If you are visiting America, your stay here is a privilege. And when you start breaking the laws, it's time for you to go. That's part of the rules. That's the deal. You come here and enjoy and visit and do whatever you need to do, but don't break the laws. One part of the same story that's true, and Denver also did this, they removed fines for certain quality of life crimes, quote unquote, like being in park curfew after a certain hour or panhandling, because these offenses are most often committed by homeless people. So listen, park curfew is not you and your girlfriend stargazing on the hood of your car. Park curfew is they're in the park doing drugs. First of all, it's illegal. And secondly, it's contributing to a city that doesn't look nice when you get up in the morning and there's needles in the park or there's trash, debris, sleeping bags. You can treat homeless people with dignity and still enforce the law. And the homeless problem, and I'm intending on doing a full podcast on this, is out of control in Denver. I mean, you go to the 16th Street Mall, you're accosted every, half a minute by aggressive panhandlers, all that want money. That doesn't contribute to a place where tourists want to go. I've even heard people say, like, let's go see the 16th Street Mall. And then they're like, oh, let's get out of here. This should be a place where people flock to. Look at Civic Center Park, arguably, in my opinion, one of the neatest parks in the country. This Civic Center Park is put between the beautiful Colorado State Capitol with its gold dome leaf and the city and county building of Denver, which is spectacular to look at. And this park is between those two buildings, and it has an amphitheater, and it's this beautiful space. There should be, music, live music every day in the amphitheater, food carts around the outside of the park. But instead, unless it's a special event there, like the Taste of Colorado, it is a homeless drug sex park. I've pulled needles off of people down in the amphitheater. There's condoms laying around. There's people camping, homelessness. It smells. It's disgusting. That should be a place, and it breaks my heart. It does. It just breaks my heart. That should be a place that everybody's like, oh, when they come into town, you got to come see Civic Center Park. It's just like the best thing we have going on here. And instead, it's disgusting, and it's a shame. And the message it sends again is, these things aren't important to us. You can camp, even though it's illegal, but we took away the penalty for that. You can just be in the park all night. It's against the law, but we've decided that's not really important. You're sending this message repeatedly over and over again. After 15 years in law enforcement, I can't count the number of times that I arrested somebody, and as part of that arrest, I would pull their rap sheet, and I'm reading, burglary, sex assault, aggravated robbery, second degree assault. It's like, how is this person not in jail? How? How could this be? That happens over and over again, and that experience is not exclusive to me. And I think this is a problem nationwide, not just in Denver. And you hear other police officers echo this complaint over and over again. But it's very frustrating to be out there putting yourself at risk as a police officer day after day, arresting the same people that you shouldn't have to be arresting because they should still be in jail. So now, what is the message of that? The message is, if you do commit a crime and you're caught, you only serve like 30% of your sentence. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. You know what? It's only an economic crime, so it's not a violent crime, so we're going to give you probation. Those are the messages that are being sent by the justice system. And now, as we're preparing for this podcast, I come across a Fox 31 in Denver story, and I had to just put my pen down and walk away for a day. I had to just, shake it off and reread that. I had to give myself a little pinch. Am I awake? February 5th, an article on KDVR's website. A plan to allow a legal injection site in Denver goes before lawmakers on Monday at the state capitol. Huh? Would you like me to repeat that? Oh, let me read you paragraph 2 of this article. The idea would establish a place where drug users could legally shoot up under supervision without fear of being arrested. I'm sorry. Is there some buzzing in my ears? It yeah. I'll pause while you rewind it so you can listen to that again. All right, let's talk about methadone. If there's a legitimate methadone clinic that's intent on working with people who are addicted to heroin that want to get off, and you can't continue on the methadone program for years or months and years at a time, fine. That's under the close supervision of healthcare professionals, fine. I mean, even if it doesn't pass, the fact that our lawmakers took time to consider this is so heartbreaking to me. And this being the cherry on top of everything I've talked about today, the message that's being sent over and over again to the community in Colorado, the people visiting, and the rest of the world is that the people running Denver and Colorado don't value lawfulness. It's okay to break the laws. It's okay if you're homeless. And we don't want to pick on the homeless. Even though you talk about quality of life, a homeless problem can seriously degrade the quality of life in a city. Not feeling safe, having people serve 30-ish% of their prison sentences, having crimes reduced, making legal places for felonies to occur. So I'm not blaming marijuana, homelessness, these things specifically. What I'm saying is, as a community, the message that's being sent is, it's all right. All right, even if you do, you'll get out of jail. Don't worry about it. How do you think it feels for police officers to be out there enforcing the laws every day and have the people in charge of the state sending the message that, thanks, stop the big stuff if it's actually happening, but we don't really care about lawfulness? That's horribly frustrating for the men and women out every day sacrificing their lives, and the message that's being sent by the folks above them is, it's all right. Let them go. Don't worry about that one. And we don't care about this rule either. Oh, that one over there? Nah, it's fine. I think this makes the job of police more difficult. They're exposed to criminals they wouldn't be otherwise. And when they do arrest somebody, they're going to see them again shortly on the street. I believe what you want here is you can treat people with dignity and respect, and you can also have a place where the rules are followed. And you apply the broken windows theory. We care about litter on the ground. We care about broken windows. We care about needles and condoms at our amphitheater in Civic Center Park. We care about the quality of life. We don't want 5,200 people to be walking around stoned all downtown. The smell of pot emanating everywhere. And you send the message that rules matter here, and you can come here, you can visit, you can ski, you can hike, you can do whatever you want, but don't break the law. Don't do it. We're going to come for you. You're going to pay. You're going to pay. Not a little bit. Come here and enjoy. But this is our place. This is our house. Don't do it. We're going to make an example out of you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your time. Thanks for everything. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate everybody being here and at stevewarnicki.com. Our hearts and prayers go out to these deputies, their families, all of the injured deputies, and everybody who continues to go out there every day and sacrifice themselves. We are, as Coloradans and as Americans, we got to find a way to make this safer for our police officers. Let's start talking about it. I think I'm onto something here. We'll see you soon.
Stop